ignore. I see you, I see you.
Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Southeastern is hosting the we're hosting the stream tonight for the NECC. So on your camera right now, you see the boys down in the bottom left. You see me there on the camera, and then the main screen there as we switch into the game view. We're just going to host the NECC stream. So all things go well. You won't hear much of me at all because the NECC is streaming us tonight, which is the division we play in. So they're, semi-professional casters are going to be casting for us tonight. Our match, as you can see, it's there, 10 p.m. Eastern time. It looks like we may start a little early tonight. They said maybe more at about 8:40, so in about 20 minutes. Our game could start at that time. So thank you all for being here. You can see the countdown clock there in the bottom. It says 20 minutes, 9 seconds at this moment. Glad you guys are here. Hope you stick around. It's going to be a fun night as Southeastern fights for the Division 2 championship. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Frozen over like I am.
Are you a time traveler?
Now you can beat the IRS deadline and file for free. Just upload your docs, answer a few questions, and get your maximum refund. File free now. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple 1040 returns only. Click for eligibility.
When I'm older than I am.
Now you can beat the IRS deadline.
You know that I've lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can.
And get your maximum
I
refund.
never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder when you're frozen over like I am.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. You can see the countdown clock in the bottom right. Again, NECC, the league that we play in, they are streaming tonight our match. And so we are basically just going to watch party the NECC's match. Thank you for being here. We are watching chat. We will chit chat a little bit between matches, probably say hello, talk. Feel free to chat and cheer the boys on. As we compete tonight. Thanks for joining us.
You have habits just like me. Talk too much with strangers. Get way too serious around family. And I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I
Hey, hello and welcome back. A shorter break it was indeed. I said 45 minutes. We got you guys right back in here in the action. About 30 even, flat. That's how we do it here at the NECC. I'm FBI Tugboat, joined with me, as always, here for another championship match. Here's Captain at Soka. Captain, we are staring down the barrel of Northern Arizona coming in from the upper side of the bracket, and Southeastern Oklahoma State coming in on from the loser's side. Both of these teams with opportunity, but an advantage of the bracket reset for Northern Arizona.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I had to clear my throat too for a second. Again, that was a long break, But regardless, yes, we do have NAU taking on SE tonight for our second final of the evening. Rounding out the roster for NAU varsity is going to be Chronicle, Beast, and Carr. On the other side for SE, we got a DJ, a Gamer City, and Crimson Chin.
Yes, the Crimson Chin. Comic book hero from a certain beloved TV series. See how this Southeastern squad does go forth and take down this NAU squad, if it's going to happen, right? We just saw an absolute barn burner, honestly, right? The barn burner in the last match. That best of 7 between Concord University, Northwood Blue, going all the way down the wire. Northwood Blue held to a couple of scoreless opportunities there between games, was at 5 and 6 as well, Captain. We talked a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then that one ended up going all the way to the game 7, and it was a Northwood Blue that ended up taking it. Let's see if we will have another game 7 series on our hands as we get game number 1 of our first series underway.
And another note to be holden here, Southeastern has been in this loser side of the bracket for quite a while, since about as early as they could possibly get in. They came forth once they're in that lower bracket, put down UCSB Gold 4-0, put down the St. Edwards Hilltoppers, albeit not to the same degree, 4-2 series there, and then gave GCU Purple, the squad that sent them there, a little bit of a revenge story, 4-1 in the lower side of the bracket, then finals, of course, beating Indiana Tech Premier in a 3-4 series. Southeastern gets it started early again.
Well, here we go. I mean, this is a team that is looking to make the lower bracket run, and they're starting off like they just might do it, being able to get the first goal to go here in game number 1, getting some of that momentum brewing early.
Yeah, simply put, beating this Indiana Tech Premier squad is fantastic stuff. We are looking at a number 5 seed and number 6 seed as well. Seeding be damned, Captain Etsoka. That's what I have to say.
Oh, absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the only game that really matters the most is your last game. So, you know, you just gotta play your best in the game that you're playing currently. So as long as SE can just stay in the moment and just take it one game at a time, they very well could make the lower bracket run, still holding a 1-0 lead here so far in game 1.
Yeah, Northern Arizona is a little Southeastern did in 4-2 fashion on the lower side of the bracket. So these are two teams that are not to be trifled with. They're in the grand finals for a reason, my friend.
Nearly being able to get a third goal there right off the side of the net. That is unfortunate. And now this one's going to go up on high. Another demo. Going to clear the way for Chronicle a little here, but they don't have any boost. They're running on an empty tank. Can't really get it to cross.
Well, they can't. They can't. Now, back down low is NAU. Stagnant offense. A tipper inside. And DJ just puts a little bit too much on this one. Can't quite make a connection at that as they just go screaming by, really. DJ still managing to keep this one centered until the clear does come in. Gamer City can't do anything on the back side. It's going to be a little bit of a better clear attempt there until Beast has got something to say. Chronicle down low, tries to get over to the other side. You got staring down the barrel of two Southeastern players and no advantage.
Little finesse there, but unfortunately for Chronicle, they didn't have the boost to follow it up. But once again, we're kind of in that, that gridlock here in the Southeastern side of things. And right now, I'm seeing a lot of players running on empty tanks. I mean, they are definitely using the boost, or at least somebody is, because every time we switch to a new player, it feels like they're running low.
Yeah, just zeros all across the board. I mean, right now, Crimson Chin's the only one that's spoken of, until DJ puts in the effort, gets into the side boost right there, and now Crimson Chin actually stealing some boost right there. So if we're talking about resources, it does look like Southeastern is paying that the respect that they really, really do need to. There's only a couple of different forms of resources within Rocket League, and Southeastern makes a dangerous attempt there forward that I know Northeastern is kind of puckering up about.
And only 20 seconds to go here in game number 1. NAU Varsity still trailing by 1 as this one is going to cross. It does find its intended target, DJ, there to break it up. 10 seconds remaining, goes off the backboard. Not going to find a teammate there. Gamer City going to get demolished for their efforts, going out towards the side. No boost and no time remaining. Chronicle gets sent straight to the graveyard, as that will be game number 1 in the favor of Southeastern.
Southeastern, once again, folks, number 6 seed here, taking down number 5 seed, technically higher than them thus far. 7 shots attempt versus 4. That's really kind of where the differential comes in to mean they also do it without DJ making a single shot attempted throughout a 5-minute Rocket League game. Only a score difference of 1, so if you're NAU, don't feel like you're out of this one quite yet. Of course, they have that bracket reset in the back pocket as well, Captain.
Yep, that they do. This time it was just all about the shot count here. I mean, it's clear as day. 7 shots in comparison to only 4 coming from NAU. Equal amount of saves there, so again, not too much love lost. But at the end of the day, it's that shot count, that spread, that difference. And it doesn't even look like a big difference when you're looking at the total numbers, but at the end of the day, when you're looking at a 1-goal scoreline, every shot makes a difference.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And even again, we said it in the previous series, I'll say it again here, even just forcing the hand of defenders is never really going to be a bad thing, because you're forcing their positioning, and now you know exactly where at least one of the 3 members of their team is going to go to. Predictability in Rocket League can be hard, but if you can read those lines and you can force for the trees, then that frequently is going to go forth and taking over possession and scoring goals. That leads to Rocket League success. Game 2 coming up here in just a minute after a pretty well evenly matched and low scoring game number 1, Captain.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't like a blowout or anything, but at the end of the day, when you're looking at the stats, it was just all, Southeastern for the most part. So right now, if you're NAU Varsity, I think you just got to shake off the nerves a little bit and maybe not, kind of hesitate as much. I feel like they were just playing a little bit too cautiously for my tastes.
I can definitely agree. The good news about the best of 7 series is that there's a little bit of time to shake off that rust and whatnot. See if that really comes to effect here, because a lead of 1 to best of 7, really not that big. We have a couple of demos right here, only 1 player back, but unfortunately, 3rd player cannot quite capitalize on that and get an effective shot off.
Yep, I mean, we love to see it, as now already Southeastern wasting no time getting shots on the board. Again, continuing to pile on the shot count. And if they are allowed to constantly get shots that close, 1 is guaranteed to fall. They have got to start contesting some of those if you're on the side of NAU.
And picking up a boost on the way is not a terrible way to start there for Carr. Beast tries their own hand, the same exact thing, down low. That's a solid hit. That's going to be too high, but the follow-up kind of trying to get there for Chronicle. That's just a little tiny bit too high. Now that is a better pass attempt as Gamersity tries to continue the momentum the other way. A little undershot there. Fantastic control in the air.
And there was 2 opportunities there where I was thinking NAU was going to be able to get it to go, and unfortunately they were just off the mark. If only by a little bit. But like I said, it just seems like they're playing a little bit nervous. Just like it's just like the plays are just barely off by mere pixels. And if they're able to, calm the shaky hands just a little, they're going to find goals for sure. As Chronicle now is going to take a turn.
Okay, so Chronicle, even though they burned all the boost, kept on the momentum there, kept on the trajectory, and was still able to make a second play right there, yielding in no clear. Just not yet. NAU still offensive 3rd, still trying to get this ball centered and still trying to get passes off. Ooh.
Yeah, nice shot on there, but an even better save by DJ to clear it away. And now NAU starting to bring the ruckus with that demo. and a decent follow-up touch. Again, the play did not result in the goal, but I like the way they're thinking.
Little demo action, the little physical play, Captain. We've been talking about it all day long. It has seized the day thus far. No reason to interrupt that level of success.
Yeah, and right now, Southeastern, whenever they were on the offense, and they were for a lot until, you know, just a couple of moments ago with NAU, as once again, they get so close, Tugboat, but they just, for some reason, don't seem to finish.
Just can't quite seal the deal on that one, unfortunately. 2 minutes, no scores on boards. So we had plenty of low-scoring affairs. I mean, we had one-scored games, multiple one-score games, 2 one-score games right there in first series of the day. Well, we also saw, what, a 4-2 barn burner, 5-2 barn burner, 7 total scores in a 5-minute Rocket League game. Crazy stuff.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, we've seen a couple of these in the previous series, you know, going 0-0. I think it was all the way down to 1:30 in one of those games between Northwood and Concord. It looks like it's going to happen again, and maybe even potentially a 0-0 OT. We'll just have to see as we continue on. Carr is going to have to give up possession now.
Down low, Carr kind of faking it this one, making him think that they were going to take it, so it was a wise decision to allow him a little bit of time to go pick up this big boost. And now, just like that, NAU sends this back the other way. Still DJ's got something to say about it. Still player left back here, that's Chronicle, who have their hand of the defense. First tap from Chronicle, but it's not a really effective clear there. And University and the rest of Southeastern are going to have 60 seconds at least to continue on an offensive possession. Never mind.
Running out of time here in regulation. 50 seconds left to go. Big bump. Kudos to Chronicle for taking the hit and still getting the save. That is an and one, kind of, if we could try and possibly relate Rocket League to basketball. Regardless, it's a great save no matter which way you cut it. Now, getting right back to the action. 30 seconds remaining. Still 2 big buttery bagels on the board there, Tugboat.
Yep, 2 donuts right here, 2 zeros. Overtime at double zeros right here would be quite interesting. It's been a little while. We didn't see it in the previous. Didn't see in this one. Another opportunity for Crimson Chin as Southeastern tries to get the first one here to go. NAU offensive side beast. Okay, I did not recognize your game.
I had to watch that one more again just to try, because I missed it, to be honest. Like, from the, I guess, the spectator view that I had, I couldn't really see the play unfold and where Beast came into play. But yeah, that was, again, a really great pass, a really great lead, because once again, you're hitting the waterfall, it jumps straight down, and then Beast was, again, in the perfect position just to finish that one and possibly finish off this game. Rule 0 now, and the fact is the ball will hit the dirt, and NAU will get on the board to tie up the series 1 apiece.
There you go. It's a 1-score differential in both of these, but a goose egg laid by the Buffaloes. Here's that Southeastern Oklahoma State. Let's take a look at the numbers right here. Obviously, we don't have Chronicle. We're going to be fixing an issue or something like that. But Carr, okay, single save, single assist, no shots attempted. 6 total shots attempted here from Southeastern. Obviously, no goals on board, and only a couple of saves to boot.
Yeah, and again, this was really just a stalemate match. I mean, it would, if we could have seen Chronicle stats, maybe we would have had a little bit more information to go on. Because again, there had to be a gap somewhere with the stat count. Otherwise, if we just ignore Chronicle stats because we didn't get a chance to see them, it was pretty much a quiet game. It was more of a vie for possession than anything else. It's a lot of keep away, it's a lot of give and go, and not a lot of substance. However, I can imagine that the shot count coming from NAU had to be a tidbit higher, because there were so many times where they were kissing the sidebar, kissing the crossbar, literally all over the net besides the back of it. Again, it was absolutely insane to see how many times they were close to scoring, and then inevitably they were able to get one to go. But for every single missed opportunity, in my opinion, that was an opportunity for their opposition to take control. So again, they're not going to want to let those go by moving forward, but at least now they know they have the confidence to go and, you know, really crash the boards, and maybe now it's going to result in more goals moving forward. Let's see if Southeastern is going to be able to answer back here in game 3.
I mean, a one-score differential always feels better early. 4:54, you could watch this unfold. As soon as Carr hits this the other way, there's only one player back. It's just going to be a simple little tap pass down bottom and the easiest of Chronicle's career. One-score goal differential here early for NAU.
Yeah, nice little finesse, too, by being able to just use the wheels on that touch. Again, the defender was expecting, you know, a shot, possibly a little bit more zest on the ball, but no, it was just a soft wheel touch down below for their teammate. Good call out, and I can only assume good communications between those two.
Communications key within Rocket League, key within most team sports in general. See how this continues to unfold from Northern Arizona. Carr just gets to that one a little bit late, but Chronicles spins gold out of straw right here, but Carr going up for it as well as Beast. I think Beast's attempted shot right there was actually, like the Psycho, was actually kind of interrupted by teammate. Not 100% sure. I hope NAU isn't tripping over themselves in the too many cooks in the kitchen type situation.
Well, it's all about consistency. We can have a hiccup here or there, but let's see how they're able to come together. Southeastern now trying to find the equalizer. Big clear on target. DJ from all the way downtown gets the equalizer for Southeastern.
It's 6 minutes plus there. Southeastern went with no goals. Carr, I feel like Carr is the level of player that if you spin this up 99 more times, there's like maybe 1 or 2 more goals, right? Just going a little bit too fast, gets under this ball and can't quite get up to it. Defender has, or teammate, excuse me, the other defender has no time to get back to this one. Carr almost feasted upon that one as it's a pass play here attempted for Chronicle. Little 1v1 hoisted way off to the outside, and DJ with boost is going to be able to take hold.
Chronicle now trying to find something to go. Is again, you know, I'm watching NAU Varsity, and I kind of like what I'm seeing because I am noticing that sometimes they try and change the pace, but this time they simply couldn't keep up with the pace of Southeastern.
Yeah, once Gamercity gets this over and teammate hits it to the corner, then you see Big Boost picked up. NAU is just not in a position to scoot back and get more than one player a defensive opportunity at a block, so great job from Southeastern, just straight up changing the pace of play, making it their own. It's a 1v, and Gamercity takes advantage. It's a 3-score run, and a stampede of scoring here for Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Not to mention, Gamercity is just back-to-back. I mean, they literally just scored, unless I'm mistaken, and then immediately scored off the kickoff goal. I mean, my goodness, they have got to put a stop to this player if they're going to try and make a comeback here. I mean, they're only down 2 goals. They got 3 minutes to go. Still plenty of time for NAU to try and answer back.
This answer has got to be one that reverberates here, because you give up a couple goals like that just so quickly, and especially off of kickoff as well. And even right now, just randomly just kind of throwing themselves at ball. NAU might be a little bit shook here, my friends. Nope, never mind. Defense collapses on the other side after Southeastern shows a fantastic job of maintaining possession throughout all this, and this is just one person's efforts in Carr.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind the branches on the singular tree still shake each and every which way, and Southeastern was a little shook after that last play. Again, they left a big opening for NAU Varsity, and NAU are not going to let those opportunities slip by too often, because again, they've already had countless close calls in game 2. So now when they get close to the net, I can imagine that they don't want to let those opportunities slip by as easily.
Cannot. We have a little stat line for you guys. We have more scorers in halftime of this game than we do in the first 2 games combined. That was 1-2 for Southeastern Oklahoma, 1-0 in game 2 for Northern Arizona. Best of 7 series boiled down to best of 5 right here. Who is going to take it down and take another lead here? Will it be Southeastern? And that would be another lead instead of a tying factor here from Northern Arizona.
Oh, this is a big opportunity. The shot was on, and again, the offense did everything correctly. There's nothing they could be upset about. The defense was just prepared. And again, the defense stepped up. So there's really nothing that NAU could have done better about that play. At this point, you just have to keep running it over and over again until it eventually falls. Or you could try and, maybe put the defense in an awkward situation. Regardless, they're going to need more plays like that if they're going to equalize before the time is up.
Great fake there from DJ, kind of forcing this offender to think, oh, well, this is just going to get blocked. Why would I even go up for it? Well, it's the mental games winning the day, and that's just a tiny, tiny little bit to the outside. The best laid plans of Northern Arizona University are coming so close over and over to coming true.
Yeah, but again, the time is not on their side. This is a benefit for Southeastern here, as, they have the clock, in their advantage. So they can really just play all day and just wait for time to expire. Meanwhile, Carr trying to find an answer here to get something to go. That one's going to find its way out towards the middle. Chronicle looking for Beast. This one's going to go up high, and once again, time continuing to tick against NAU.
Chronicle from on high, flipping to the right corner right here. Nobody really winning that one until Boost tries to get involved. Okay, a great job sending this one skyward, maintaining. Playing against the clock right now, Southeastern State definitely is.
Yeah, getting a little dangerous now for NAU. Where is everyone?
What?
Nobody was home, and somehow Southeastern doesn't score that. I think, did everyone just, forget where the ball was for a moment? Because not only was NAU just completely away from their own net, but Southeastern just completely gave up on the ball on an open net. So I'm not sure what happened there, but that was some goofy goobery if I've ever seen it.
Yes, it really was. Squandered opportunity, if we're going to be negative about it, but I definitely feel comfortable calling that because this now ends 3-2 in a situation where Northern Arizona had the opportunity to take this bull by the horns, as they say, and yield something besides a one-score differential loss for the one-score difference for the third time in this. The second time not going their way, though, my friend. Southeastern wrestles back the lead.
Yep, that they do. And again, the stats aren't that different, and the shot count falls in the favor of NAU. So we have to ask again, where was the shortcomings at? It wasn't the saves. There were only 2 saves on the side of Southeastern, but you have 6 shots. 6 shots with only 2 saves. You should have 4 goals. That, in my opinion, should be a dub, because there's no, and again, if you're an unforgiving coach like I would be, and to see 6 shots on target with only 2 saves and you're only recovering 2 goals, that means your shots aren't on target. That means get back in free play, get back running your training packs until you can hit those shots 10 times out of 10, because when you have open opportunities, you got to make everyone count.
Yeah, this just seemed like maybe a communications breakdown, maybe just a whose line is it anyway type of situation, right? Like, wait, whose ball is it? Whose possession? Okay, well, they just gave it up. Hang on, who's going for it? Maybe so. We just be speculating at this point, really talking about it. But what we do know is that was a 3-2 differential. Southeastern took this one back, and if they're able to string 2 more of these, Captain, well, that just got to look a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's looking more likely and likely, and we have mentioned this. We've talked about this. Rocket League esports in general, very momentum based. So once you get a team that is locked in, it is hard to knock them out. Again, because of I guess the key factor with most esports would be that muscle memory. And then once you start, really just playing off of instinct, and you are just absolutely locked in, it is hard to beat a team that is functioning at that level. And right now, Southeastern seems to be playing on that level.
They really have. D2 championships right here. Fought all the way through it. And again, we have the 6 seed and 5 seed. This is really why we run tournaments, right? Big shout out to the NECC. I think a lot of times people look at the on-paper seeding like, oh, okay, this would be like number 1 seed, number 2 seed, maybe 2 and 3, maybe 1 and 3, something like this, right? But this just really is not the case. Yes, frequently you see a 1 seed, 2 seed matchup like you do on the D1 side. Again, that's why we have multiple divisions.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I love about the NECC as well. Again, shining a little bit of light of the up-and-coming talent. You know what I mean? That's how we used to have with the rival series, with the bubble scene. Giving a spotlight to those that are, working their way up. And, these are those players, you know, working their way up to D1 and, you know, putting on an absolute show right now. Definitely putting on quite the performance. As now NAU still looking to play catch up and equalize again as SE holds on to their 1-goal lead.
DJ, fantastic attempt against the ground right here, but Chronicle and the rest of NAU read it out pretty well. Shot over attempted, forced in the hands of defenders, but again, this is just sloppy, and that was going to lead into a possession the other way. No one's real possession quite yet. B sends it way high over there. Chronicle should be able to pick this one up, and it might have been an elongated outcome, but it did come at the end. Even this clear should not really be resulting in too much until the demo comes. Beast, okay, excuse me. Once again, unfamiliar with the game, apparently.
Right now, Southeastern definitely feeling very confident as, again, they're going for a lot of these bumps and demos, the physical play, really getting up and into the faces of their opponents. And now they have to retreat to try and recover on the defense. That one is cleared rather successfully. And now NAU, once again, struggling to get through the Southeastern defense, as that one will be delayed right at the last second by DJ.
Good effort, a little bit too high. It's going to be the second in-game Mercy. 2 seconds after halftime finds the second here for Southeastern Oklahoma. Crimson Chin does a fantastic job getting it past pretty much everybody and putting it right into the numbers of the teammate Game Mercy.
Yeah, right now Southeastern is just synergized. I mean, they are finding one another. They are able to complete passes and they're able to complete shots. Again, keep in mind that this team didn't have the highest shot count last game, but they were able to win because the quality of the shot. Keep in mind, you know, they were also able to get 2 assists on the board, so they're passing the ball, they're communicating with one another, and they're getting more high-quality shots. So even though they're not winning in the shot count, the shots that they do take, more often than not, have the potential to hit the back of the net.
Gotta agree with you. Gotta agree with you. It's the classic quantity versus quality type of question, right? As of right now, I mean, partially off the back of NAU having 0 saves last game. Can't talk about that enough, but they do go forth and take him. Southeastern is usually spinning gold more often. Gamercity. A methodical block there from Carr. Centered up. Crimson Chin tries to play the rebound. Can't quite get there.
No, not quite. But it's really the possession game right now. And for me, it's just all Southeastern because it felt like for a good moment, we were just in NAU territory. We're now in Southeastern. But I feel like for the majority of this matchup, we have been in the NAU side of things, and I think the scoreboard reflects that.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you. Like, time of possession, right? We've gotten all kinds of really, really cool, you know, quality of life upgrades, right? That's what they're called. Crossbar sound, boost meters, things like this, right? I would love to see time of possession, right?
I would like to see demos being present on the scoreboard. To me, that is a stat that is prevalent in Rocket League. It needs its own. Well, I mean, it is there. Like the stat, they do keep track of the stat, but they don't show it on the scoreboard. When we're looking at the post game wrap up, we're looking at the stats. I think demos should be included there.
Definitely agree. That'd be obviously be like a lot easier to pull information from. Time of possession is more of a pipe dream for me because it's obviously like a little bit hard to do it. Like, do you just, you know, does the ball change color every time you hit it, right? Okay, well, right now it's orange, it'll be blue in a second. Okay, does that, like, how long does that count? Are you counting milliseconds here? How long is it broken down? And it might be a little bit hard to pull nuance from there, but at least it would be a numerical stat with which we could draw information. But as it is, 5 seconds, 2 scores, not going to happen. Southeastern has put down their third here. Now with triple zeros, it definitely will be a win. Whether that's 2-1, 3-0, or just standard 2-0, it's going to be 2-0. Southeastern puts down another one here after the Game 2 break for Northern Arizona.
And you know, to further build on the point that you were making with ball possession, you know, it'd be a good way to actually like keep track of that is, you know, how long the ball spins in one side of the field. You know what I mean? Okay. Yes. So it's like ball possession, but like reversed. You know what I mean? So it'd be like, okay, so this ball was in NAU territory for for this amount of time throughout the game. That would tell you that Southeastern was applying the majority of the offense. So again, I think that would be a fascinating way to keep track of that.
maybe like a little bit of area across the middle is like neutral, no time spent on either side really there. But again, maybe a little bit hard to draw nuance from, but I think you definitely have a better method of tracking it than the one I propose. That's a great point, because generally, especially higher levels, the goals that are not going to happen from the other side of the pitch, right? But regardless, we have our first 2-score differential here and our first shutout of top seed Northern Arizona University, as this just got a whole lot easier for the Southeastern Oklahoma State squad. One game away, excuse me. It could be one goal as well as one game, but one game away, a victory away from cracking this bracket reset wide open and putting it back to a completely neutral territory.
Yep, I mean, they have all the momentum right now. They literally need just one more game to reset the bracket, and then they will have the advantage, because once again, the momentum would have been on their side, because they came out from a win, and they are currently coming off of a win. So let's see if they're going to be able to close things out here in this first series and reset the bracket, or will NAU continue to stay alive? Game 5 well and underway.
3 games in a row. I guess we could call it a mini reverse sweep. That's what's required here for Northern Arizona. I think that's a Huskies. I can't exactly remember, actually.
I think they're the Huskies, I think.
Is that right? Let me go ahead and
It sounds right. Well, as we continue on and we figure out what animal is representing NAU, we will continue to play on. As you can see, Crimson Chin able to get the touch. Oh, they're the Lumberjacks.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. Louis.
Whoops.
Named after Louis.
Whoops a daisy.
Cool. Lumberjack. I did not, would not have anticipated that one. Excuse me, Northern Arizona. Not familiar with game.
Trying to think of the mythological lumberjack. Isn't it like Paul Bunyan with the blue ox?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Making sure I still remembered I don't even know what mythology that would be.
I think the ox was just named Blue, right?
I would hope so.
Exactly
just to make it easier on me.
Yeah, right. It's a good point. Savage Storm. Savage Storm is the mascot here for the Southeastern Oklahoma State. Obviously, it is in the form of a little bison, a buffalo right there, right?
Mm-hmm. And now we continue on here in game 5. Beast looking to get on the board, but my goodness, DJ not only able to avoid the bump, but also able to get a save in the process. Well done, and good reaction time on them. Is now Carr showing off their reaction time, being able to recover, order to play some defense there. And once again, we are stalemated at that midfield line.
DJ, okay. Chronicle kind of looked lost right there, but it only looked lost to me because Beast was back and ready to make the defensive effort. 2 minutes, a little bit more than 2 minutes, excuse me, into this one. No scores on boards quite yet. We have seen a maximum of 5 scores, and that was, again, only as one goal difference.
And approaching halftime now, and as you can see, Carr going for the flippery doodah flip reset, not going to be able to land it, as that follow-up shot nearly on point. But DJ, once again, showing up on the defensive side of things. DJ has been quite the savior here for Southeastern.
Gotta agree with you. DJ has been putting in the efforts defensively, getting some passing play going offensively as well. But Chronicle and Carr have mostly been, or excuse me, other side. Crimson Chin and Gamersity have been the scoring opportunists, really. Crimson Chin, obviously, we saw what they were able to do earlier twice in that game. Number 4. Game 5, and possibly the last. The Southeastern is able to get it going. Crimson Chin trying to get something going, do their own hero plays.
Yeah, they're trying, and they are knocking on the door. Beast, though, able to put a stop to the aggression. But again, this is where we see a lot of time being spent in the NAU side of things here, as Southeastern knocking on the door of a goal, as that one is going to go way wide.
Way wide. 90 seconds to go. No scores on boards. DJ flips up to it, burns everything to get there, and takes his way to a teammate's possession. Everybody just kind of flipping at this one. It finally gets out of the right-hand corner. Gamersity looking for the pocket here as Beast takes possession. Sends us flying the other way. Gamersity does. Beast with a double demo. It is one player on the offense so far. Okay, I was going to say, that is a clip and a half all day if that lands.
Still some pressure from Southeastern here. I feel like it's only mere moments away before somebody gets the golden goal. I mean, there's been so many opportunities for both sides here. I'm surprised we haven't seen the tie be broken yet here in Game 5. Still 0-0 as this one goes high, and there it is. Gamersity able to get the goal ahead for Southeastern.
Fantastic stuff. A save, pair of shot attempts, and now a goal for Gamersity. It'll be up to NAU to grab this game, put one in, and try and take it in regular time or overtime. Regardless, they're not going to have a lot of time with which to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you cannot let this opportunity go by if you're on the side of Southeastern, because, you know, this is the hard part, right? Getting the bracket reset is the hard part. Then you go back to a regular series, best of 7, you GG, you play next. So if they're able to get this done and knock it out early, then that's less stress on them. However, that stress then gets applied to NAU. And yes, that was an awfully close shot. right in the middle of the net. They're so close to getting the equalizer, and yet still so far away as the final second ticks off the clock. And that will do it. Southeastern have officially reset the bracket.
Well, here's another one coming at you. It was a 2-0 last game. It was a 1-0 this game. I'll tell you what the one thing holds similar between those two, and that is the goose egg, the donut laid here by the Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks. We'll see if they can get it going in the bracket reset, because that is their last opportunity to go forth and take down this whole series. Well, this whole competition, whole championship. I guess the series is over with, right? It's been reset, folks.
It definitely has. Now we're going to be moving on to yet another best of 7 series. And again, just a phenomenal display here. Looking at the shot count, you saw 11 shots coming and going. I mean, my goodness, 11 shots, and yet we've only seen 1 goal in that last game. To me, that is something. I'll be honest. When you're putting. But you also got to give NAU credit, because they were coming down with a gratuitous amount of saves, you know. But at the same time, you know, the more saves you have, the more time you're telling me that you spent in your own half. And when you're spending that much time saving the ball, those are less shots that you're taking. That is less opportunities for you to get a goal on the board.
I have to agree with you, right? It goes down to our time of possession kind of conversation earlier, Captain Otsoka. Like, it'd be way easier to be like, okay, well, this is why this team, like, in such a close competition like this, yes, it was a 4-1 series, but again, the only one of these two was the shutout in game number 4, that it wasn't a 1-score differential, and Northern Arizona is right back into this one. Whether that's in overtime, whether that's in regular time, hook or by crook, Northern Arizona was in this the entire series, right? Now we go into a next one, and just the question of momentum, the question of mental. What is going on between those ears, Captain Otsoka? That is going to be the defining factor here for Northern Arizona in this bracket reset.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I'm giving full advantage now to Southeastern at this point.
Yes.
Not only.
Yeah. Good job, Southeastern. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here in the stream. We're going to take a couple-minute break. You can see the guys here talking. Yeah, I think we're going to be like another 3 or 4 minutes before we come back. Keep rooting us on. We got one more game. So we came up from the losers bracket, right? And so NAU had not lost a match in double elimination bracket. They have to lose 2 back-to-back. So we won game 1. So now this is it. This will be the last match coming in now. Both of us have now lost a match. So now the loser is out, and the winner is the #1 player in Division 2. Let's go. Thank you guys for joining us. Stick around. We'll be right back with the match. I might go hoop, Jakey. I might.
locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel's is going to keep you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, and crush the competition because Wenzel's Farms is fuel for gamers and flavor for champions. Love it, love it. They also have some very, very interesting, very fun marketing, Captain Atsoka. Anything else for the short break?
Nope, nothing from me. I'm just ready to get on to the next series and to see how this grand finals will unfold.
Back with you guys, just a couple minutes.
Hey, they gave a shout out to their sponsors, so I think we'll go ahead and give a shout out to ours. Choctaw Careers, there's something for you here. Thank you, huge shout out Choctaw Careers for sponsoring Southeastern Esports. And then Fat Cap, if you're looking for some good swag for your esports program, for your company, doesn't really matter. They do it all. They'll do designs for you and everything. So just reach out to Fat Cap. And then if you are a program and you're looking for coaching, Go Sue Academy is a great place to reach out. If you need some coaching for your esports program, whether that's high school level or college level, it's a great thing to do. We're going to shout out the boys. They just walked back through. Look at them. We'll give a little peek to our arena. We got some students in here playing. Got some students in here watching. Got, of course, Jakey pointed out the hoopers in the back. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. The boys are going to get resettled. Back there in the back, you can see them on the webcams. They're going to get sat back down, and we are going to run it back.
Just got to be hoping that they were saving the good stuff for the second game. They were kind of like playing it loose, playing it easy there in the first series, and now this is when they actually turn the gas on, right? Like this is where they lean forward, and now we're gonna go try hard mode. Let's see if that is the case as a game one of our final best of 7 series is underway.
Yeah, this is the final best of 7, right, Captain Atsoka? No bracket resets after this?
No mas. This is it. Southeastern has earned their right to go to finals, to go to grands, and to have another shot at making a lower bracket run, and they are gonna start things off right.
Gamersity picking back up right where they left off of a really bad hit, really bad rebound play from Northern Arizona University. They say the best teams take advantage of their opponents making mistakes. Well, that's Southeastern early.
Yeah, I mean, Gamersity, or Gamersity, I feel like they've been the hot shot for Southeastern, right? Like, they've been on a roll offensively. However, DJ, the savior. I mean, they have been coming up with so many great saves. Again, they're getting involved in the offense as well. And then you have Crimson Chin, who has been pretty much a bruiser. Like, whenever you see somebody that's getting shooken up on the NAU varsity side of things, it's usually Crimson Chin that is either the cause of it or they're the one just kind of bullying the ball through for their teammates. So again, they definitely have their roles selected over there for Southeastern.
Absolutely. And to an extent, you have to know your teammates. And another one for Southeastern. Crimson Chin knows that he can go toe-to-toe with the best of them right in front of net. Fantastic stuff.
That's what I'm saying. When Crimson Chin goes forward, it's hard to stop them. They're kind of like, you know, the Juggernaut in the X-Men. You know, once they build up that momentum and they just start barreling forward, it's hard to, you know, put a stop to them. Regardless, that is a 2-0 lead here in game number 1 for Southeastern, and we're barely a minute and 40 in.
Yeah, this is definitely the fastest 2-score differential we found in this one. Granted, there's only, 2 games. There were 3 games so far that you can even call a 2-score differential. Well, 2-score differential, Bees don't like the sound of that. How about an early goal here for NAU? About 45 seconds before halftime.
And you see, that's what I like to see. I wish I would have saw a little bit of that in the previous series, because that was a 3-way pass play, and that's what you have to do to get goals on the board. In basketball, this would be considered a pass to assist, and that's exactly what we just saw from NAU varsity. Every single player getting involved on the play and being able to finish. So that's what NAU needs to bring from here on out if they are going to salvage this championship.
A great flick attempt there from Beast. Gamersity plays it perfectly on the other side. Offense, defense. Gamersity is having no problems in this series so far, Captain.
Yep, so far, so good for Southeastern. Again, they were able to start off quick, get the first goal, build upon the momentum, but now trying to answer back. Beast barely denied off of the 2-tap. That one would have been pretty.
Would have been real pretty. Been absolutely fantastic, and would have been the 3rd goal and another 2-score differential achieved there for Southeastern. As it is, Northern Arizona trying to flip, turn, get their way inside, reset or otherwise. Another pass, Crimson Chin has done it to him before, might do it to him again. Not going to do it to him quite yet as Gamersity sends it down low. Well, little assist there from Crimson Chin. Doesn't really do much more than send this one way sideways, and DJ's going to do everything they can, flip a couple of different ways just to try and maintain possession.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing right now from NAU is that they are no longer hesitating. They are throwing themselves at the ball, for better or worse. But my point is that I'm glad that they're doing it, because I'd rather them commit to the touch than to constantly just, you know, second guess themselves and then make a split decision. Like, if you're going to go for the ball, you got to go for it. Whether you throw yourself at the ball or, you know, you're able to get the go-ahead goal. The point is that you have got to make that effort. Once you start in motion, you have to complete that motion.
You got to. Motion moves into momentum quickly. Southeastern has been able to ride that one here early. You know, don't color me surprised it's a 1-score difference, but I can't also say that I'm surprised that Southeastern was able to run this one. Honestly, hats off, I feel like, game number 1 and the very, very beginning of a best-of-7 series from NAU to not only breaking the scoring drought that they'd suffered through 10 minutes of Rocket League, but also to keep this one close. The 60 seconds left. It's a classic 60-second drill. In fact, here for Northern Arizona University, as that's almost another one. The second attempt from Gamersity. Why do I sound surprised?
Yeah, but, I mean, leading the charge there, you know, you had Crimson Chin drop that one off the backboard, and Gamersity just once again falling into place to put that one back in. Again, the positioning coming from Southeastern has been on point, as now they are up 2 points with 45 remaining.
40 seconds now. Going to have to hop too quickly here for Northern Arizona. They're going to have to do it without Carr for a couple of seconds. Down bottom, Chronicle reads this perfectly. This was a fantastic kind of waterfall type pass, and ends up being less of a waterfall and more of a guillotine dropping down for Chronicle.
Yeah, I mean, that's a feels bad, because, again, you're trying to get to the ball as quickly as you can, and you're just off by a mere pixel, and then devastation follows. However, again, great play, start to finish, coming from NAU Varsity. They put the pressure on, and they force that awkward situation. It's about forcing situations, forcing opportunities, as Crimson Chin is able to find the 4th goal for Southeastern here in Game 1.
This is so good. This is so unexpected that, like, the auto cam is still on Beast right there, isn't it? That's insane. Crimson Chin turns water into wine right there, creating miracles before our very eyes. Crazy stuff.
Yep, and again, I don't want to call it, because, again, I do like to allot myself the 10-second rule. You know, whenever you're in a bind, you'd like to give 10 seconds per goal, but, you know, we're kind of beyond that now. 10 seconds remaining, down 2 goals. I think it's safe to say this one's going to go to Southeastern, as they're going to start off the series continuing their momentum where they left off. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this would be, I want to say, the 4th game in a row that they have won, you know, in the last 4 games.
You're 100% right. That was a 2-3, 1-score differential. Almost got down to that overtime situation in the 3rd game of the previous series. Then a 0-2 followed up by a 0-1. Now, as I mentioned earlier, NAU managed to stave off the shutout type situation, but not much better than that result-wise here, as they fall to another 2-score differentials. This was the late one at like 28 seconds. And Carr, man oh man, Carr held without a shot again.
Yep, that's unfortunate, but I want to put a little bit of light on Crimson Chin, because, again, we were talking about Gamersity, you know, being that hot shot. Well, Crimson Chin just came through with 100% goal participation.
It's fair. It's fair. Like, just individually, they've shown that they can go forth and take any game and make it their own within the respective series, regardless of pressure, regardless of momentum possibly going the other way, regardless of pretty much anything so far, Captain. The momentum continues. We talked about it towards the end of the last series. I mean, heck, we started talking about it at the end of game number 3, right? And then that's when the shutout started there for Northern Arizona University. Northern Arizona, got to get it together, got to figure out exactly what it is that's going wrong right here, got to minimize mistakes, and just focus on this passing plays, because, again, there's just very few times that you're going to be able to get it all done yourselves.
And, you know, speaking of the passing plays, like Southeastern, every single goal that they had in the previous game came off the pass. So I think they need to take a page from their book and, you know, start sharing the sugar a little bit, you know, get the ball around, you know, making sure that everybody is involved in the rotation. And you know what, you had even mentioned it, and I couldn't help but agree. We have seen them, like, kind of tripping over one another, you know, a double commit here or there. And I think maybe a little bit more communication, you know, talking on the mics could help alleviate that. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see if they're going to be able to make those changes going forward. Here we are now, well underway in game 2.
Uncharacteristic miss there for the Southeastern member. It's going to yield no real negative results, and Southeastern still looks like they're going to have possession. Yes, they are. Since it's back on over the other way, it's a little tip pass, but this lands right into the breadbasket of Crimson Chin. And now North Arizona going to be getting into the defensive stance for a couple of seconds at least, trying for a clear right here. Gamersity thinks otherwise. Down bottom, forces the hand. Carr's got to flip up to this one and block it, and they do.
DJ now able to get the ball out to Crimson Chin, and DJ also been getting the assist today. It feels like they're getting involved as well, but once again, Crimson Chin just keeping their scoring streak alive.
Yep, this is there's 5 games in a row now that Crimson Chin have scored, including the 0-1 shutout, right? Gamersity got, no, that was DJ, excuse me, they got one in the 0-2 shutdown, and then Crimson Chin with the other one. I would now alter my advice a little bit for Northern Arizona, and that is the best, the opposite of the advice of the best block is to not be there, Mr. Miyagi. It is Crimson Chin cannot score if they are not on the field. Demo Crimson Chin by hook or by crook, however you can find it. Get up to that full speed and ram your car into Crimson Chin.
I'm sorry, but there's only one person that can take out Crimson Chin, and that is the Bronze Kneecap. Let's be real. So unless one of these players is the Bronze Kneecap and I didn't know about it, I don't think they're going to be putting a stop to Crimson Chin. But as we continue on, 2 minutes nearly gone now here in Game 2, and NAU still looking to get their first on the board.
Got to be thinking about the similar situations they face in this 0 scores and still a low-scoring game. Something about losing low-scoring games, especially that you don't score in, just really destroys the mental a little bit, right? If you're scoring like just kind of some kind of shootout, 7-6, something like this, it seems like a little bit easier to stomach because it just knows that, we had plenty of opportunity to block this one away. We had plenty of opportunity to get more goals ourselves, and it just didn't happen.
And now here we are, past halftime in Game 2. Southeastern still in the lead 1-0, which doesn't seem like much, but when you break down all of the matches we have seen with a 1-goal differential, it all of a sudden becomes a big deal as that 1-goal differential now becomes 2.
There you go. Crimson Chin continues on the goal participation. This is an assist. This could have gone to Gamercity on a harder angle. This ended up going to DJ. Low and slow, even I could have made that goal. 218, 2-score differential for your, I'm not going to say favorites at any point. We don't want to really play that game, but my God, are they looking good.
Yep, that they are. And honestly, going into this one, I would think that the favorite would have been NAU because they had the bracket reset advantage. But, since that bracket had been reset, I would have to agree. If there were a current favorite, it would be Southeastern because of that wave of momentum that they were able to build up until this point. Because keep in mind, they had to make nearly an entire lower bracket run just to be here. So, again, they had definitely paid their dues for this opportunity here tonight.
So they have DJ, okay, down low, a little bit of fakey action. Teammates not there, and the third one for NAU is not going to bite hard onto that one. Might have gotten the first two, getting all three is tough. Gamercity, though, gets it past two. Gamercity picks up the rebound as Crimson Chin gets it past two, right? You see the double commit down bottom, and the mistakes may be showing themselves aplenty here for Northern Arizona University, my friend.
Yeah, and that goal participation, again, both for DJ and Crimson Chin going up. But once again, Crimson Chin is just so involved on every single play, and they're really able to just control the pace, it seems like, for the majority of this game as they find yet another assist through Gamercity.
Fantastic stuff. A little breakdown on defense. Again, I mean, at this point, don't be surprised if, this is the first time that Southeastern has carried a 2-score lead with showing nothing on the other side into sub 2 minutes. And at that point, don't be really surprised when you look and see a situation where one team's just throwing it all into offense and completely abandoning the defense because, by 1, by 4 like this, by 10, it doesn't really matter, right? You lose the game, and it'll be reset in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing somewhat of a snowball effect, and it just seems like that little bit of momentum that they managed to accrue in the first series of the grand finals is now just constantly getting bigger and bigger as the games continue to go on. So NAU, they're really going to have to put a stop to this snowball of momentum for Southeastern before it becomes an avalanche.
40 seconds or so. I mean, obviously getting even one right here and stopping that shutout situation would be ideal. There's not much of a chance of them going forth and taking down this series and getting 4 and 30, right? But again, it goes back to the mental, and it goes back to how they maintain themselves through a series. What an absolute pull shot down bottom. Maybe the beginning of something beautiful here. Chronicle bounces it past 1. Beast tries to get it past 2, but Gamercity reads this like a book. Fifth.
Yeah, that they do. And the follow-up just as legible there for Crimson Chin. My goodness. I mean, they are putting on quite the show for us tonight.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Was that the second or maybe even third there for Crimson Chin? A couple assists, I believe, to boot. 5-0 as of right now as this game. Number 2 is definitively going one way and not the other.
Yep, I think it's safe to say that Southeastern will be taking game number 2, putting themselves that much closer to being your grand final champions. As that will just about do it here for game 2. Southeastern take it 5-0. And if I'm not mistaken, the biggest score difference so far in either of the grand final series.
Yes, we have seen 2 score differentials. We've even seen a 3 score differential in the first series. That was Northwood Blue putting down that Concord squad in a 5-2 situation, but a 0-5 hands down the most definitive so far. And do mine eyes deceive me? NAU held to a single shot attempt. That was by Beast. That was obviously unsuccessful.
Yeah, 11 shots to the 1. Again, a disparity like that, like we can talk about goal disparity, you know, all night long, but at the end of the day, 11 shots to 1, that right there to me is the thing to talk about, because again, it feels as though like NAU weren't even getting, you know, touches on the ball. When you look at the shot count like that, only 1 recovered shot through 5 minutes of regulation, and sometimes you'll be putting shots on target by accident. You'll see the shot count and didn't even realize you had one. But regardless, you know, something's got to change over there on the side of NAU. Meanwhile, for Southeastern, once again, they're just absolutely locked in. You've seen the 11 shots. They're coming up with 5 goals. And not only that, but they're keeping the possession away from NAU. And I think that's what's given them a really hard time, you know, is trying to take possession away from Southeastern. Southeastern clearly in control. They like having possession of the ball. They like controlling the ball. They like controlling the pace of the entire game. So now you really have to knock them off of their groove. Like I had mentioned earlier, they are locked in. Now you have to knock them out.
Yeah, and it's that landing blow, right? Like 2 games in a best-of-5 series where you'd be staring down the barrel of a game series point. That's a little bit of a different story, but 2 and 7, or best-of-7, excuse me, a little bit more manageable here. Now, if Northern Arizona doesn't turn it around right here, in this game, then they'll be staring down the barrel of a 4-game sweep required for them to bring this one back from the brink after they had that bracket reset advantage.
Yeah, and again, that's tough because, you know, in the long scope of things, you know, you're looking at the last series to this one. I mean, Southeastern are currently on a 6-game winning streak. How do you
That's one way to say,
up?
yeah, like, that's actually insane to hear out loud, bro.
Yeah, how do you break that type of momentum?
I mean, I sort of suggested it earlier, and I realized I was being a little bit facetious right here, but given that Crimson Chin has just been doing so much and does... oh, I thought that was going to be inside. Excuse me, Beast. Excuse me. Didn't mean to count that chicken early. I said it jokingly earlier about the demos and stuff, but it wouldn't be bad just to get some physical play going against Crimson Chin pretty consistently whenever you're on your own side of that pitch here, Captain Natsuka. Gotta feel like there'd be a little bit of advantage for Northern Arizona if they utilized that and got back to the more physical play that we saw earlier on in their first series.
Well, you heard it here, folks, and you heard it live. Tugboat has put a bounty on the Crimson Chin. I'm kidding. I'm joking. That didn't actually happen, but I agree.
Bring me his head. Yeah,
they have got to find a way to slow down Crimson Chin because, again, Homie has been popping off nonstop. I mean, again, they're getting like 100% goal participation nearly every game. They're dropping, you know, goals, assists, even getting on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, regardless, and not to say that it's not a team effort, because it definitely is. I mean, each player on the side of Southeastern has been in our mouths more than once tonight. Again, we're talking about every single player. They're always in the conversation, but it has to start somewhere. You know, it has to start somewhere, and it might start with trying to take out and shutting down the Crimson Chin.
It's one of those things that you have to try something new, something different here after, like you said, if they lose this, it'll be 6 games in a row, 5-game losing streak, with 3 of those being shutouts. You don't get much worse, Captain Atsoka. If you don't change something, you're going to get the same exact result here. Now, fantastic job for them for keeping the scoreless here and early. Southeastern has shown themselves completely capable and worthy of those early game scores, whether by kickoff or just by standard Rocket League play. Getting it done early has been the bread and butter of Southeastern so far, and so at least some advantage or some they're improving here is what I'm trying to say. The defensive side of the ball is improving here from Northern Arizona.
That it is, slowly but surely. And now we're spending more time in the Southeastern half, and NAU able to put an end to the score drought. They put themselves on the board.
Love it. Let's go. Let's go. This is going to be 103 seconds outside of the end of this one. Now it's Southeastern that is finally in the passenger seat trying to wrestle for the steering wheel.
Well, let's see if Southeastern is going to be able to answer back, or will NAU show a pulse, show a sign of life here in the second best of 7 series of the grand finals. It is now Chronicle trying to set up here for a rebuttal. Carr is going to get the touch. No boost to follow up, though, as that one's going to get cleared out.
It's a fantastic effort on the defensive side of this ball here, but one thing that is probably not going to work until you get down to about 25, maybe 30 seconds or so for Northern Arizona is just playing possession game and just playing against this clock. Well, that's the second here. Beast, excuse me. Now, about 15 seconds from right now, you can kind of rest back on your haunches a little bit here, Captain NECC. Not completely, and not completely let the pedal off the metal here. But if they were going to make a statement, multi-score shutout would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going full tilt here. Like, I wouldn't rest on any laurels at all. Like, again, I'm going all gas and no brakes, because not only are you, fighting to get this lead back and to get a game on the board, but you're also fighting to get that momentum back. Again, you have got to get in the right headspace. You have got to, take away all of this momentum that Southeastern managed to build. So, and the best way to do that is you got to get a game on them. And when I say get a game on them, I mean you gotta put some stats on the board, because the previous match was 5-0. You gotta inflict that same amount to them. That's how hard you have to play.
Oof. Another chance right there, and I think they're taking Captain NECC's advice too hard here, playing all the way to the end of the buzzer here, and that buzzer will come in about 15. Barring a goal right there, nice pickup, sent it way off to the other side, and Crimson Chin is a beat feet to get there. About third tank of boost left right here. As Southeastern feels the hourglass running dry.
And there you have it. The ball will touch, and NAU get on the board on game 3 in the second best of 7 series. Now that is what we like to see. That's how you turn it around there. Good shot count coming on the board. 7 shots to the 9 of Southeastern. There we go. We're seeing that quality versus quantity again. However, with that being said, the Southeastern shots were not for a lack of quality. It was the immersion of the defense coming from NAU varsity. They managed to come through and get 7 saves on the board. So not only were they getting the job done on offense, but they were getting it done on defense as well.
Yeah, I gotta say the defense was the real defining factor right here. Other than that, they just played some fantastic Rocket League, took advantage of a mistake in the more open net situation, and the other one was just a fantastic passing play all the way through here. Now, the script has officially been flipped here. Other side of the coin, Captain NECC. A shutout the other way, a multi-score shutout the other way to end the absolute run that Southeastern has been on the past 5 games. Outscoring their opponents, what is that, 15-4. 15-4 in the previous 5 games, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still some momentum, on the side of Southeastern. However, now that NAU is on the board, things are looking a little better now. You're starting to pull some of that back. I would still say that the pressure is on NAU because they are still down 1 game in the series. So, I mean, until we are even, back square at 2 games apiece, I would still give the advantage to Southeastern because they still have that win in their pocket. And not only that, but they have the previous series win as well.
Crimson Chin kind of lurking back right here. So yes, an advantage numerically for sure, but I do feel like a little bit of the wind out of the sails has been taken from Southeastern after they were able to do fantastic things and then get that done exactly back to them.
Beast now looking to continue this momentum that was built from NAU in the previous game. That one's going to get shut down now, going the other way. Carr able to get the touch. This one is hit up on high. Beast now looking for the follow-up. And it's going to get cleared out. Big opportunity going the other way for Southeastern. Big demo, and the shot is just barely off.
Barely off right here. The scoring woes on attempts here continue for Southeastern. It was a scoreless previous game. Real good look there for Crimson Chin. DJ sends this off to the corner. Gamersity picks it up. Now off the ceiling is Crimson Chin. Beast looking to take this the other way. Beast coming off of a 2-score opportunity in the previous game. The only person of those 6 that was able to put scores in the net.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, you know what's a name that just keeps popping up for the side of NAU? It's Beast. Like, Beast has been stepping up in a major way, but unfortunately, they couldn't get to that one in time, and now Southeastern are going to take a 1-goal lead.
Yep. Also, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's 1, 2. 5 games in a row here. Yeah, the last 2 of the previous years, now these 3 that, or no, not this one yet, excuse me, but the previous 3, that the team who scored first would go forth and win the game. Obviously, there was a 1-score differential in there. Everything else is multi-scores, so that just goes to prove more about what Captain and I have been talking about when you talk about the intangible momentum.
Yeah, I was about to say, you'd be surprised how more often than not that is the case, where the first person to score is usually the one to win the game. Again, it happens a lot more often than you would think, because, you know, a lot of the time they tell you, you know, you hear never give up on the play, never give up on the game, which you never should.
My God.
As we can see from Carr, clearly not giving up on the game, but stats don't lie.
Oh, bro, Gamersity is gonna be able to come in this, and Gamersity is not able to even like get up to this one really. Burns a lot of boost to get there, and teammate nearby. They're both gonna get nothing more to a front row seat to the scoring opportunity. Gamersity again. Oh no, can't quite cut the corner on that one. It's a 4th shot attempt for Beast, and another goal here for NAU very, very quickly.
Yeah, Beast has been all over the ball in these past 2 games so far. And I gotta say, I think Beast was a little bit of a catalyst for the resurgence of NAU. Again, they were able to make some pretty good, outstanding plays, and I feel like that has, you know, put some of that momentum also in the favor of Carr and Chronicle. Now they are feeling a lot better as a team, and I think Beast was the one to kick that off for them as we approach halftime here in a game number 4 with a 1-goal lead in favor of NAU.
You always look for a little offensive spark, right, to kind of inspire the rest of the squad. I think it's fair to say the Beast has been that player here for Southeastern for a while. That's real high down low, and all 3 players in Southeastern getting involved in this offensive scoring play. Love it. Absolutely love it. We're back to a little bit more even-handed Rocket League, my friend.
Yeah, that we are, but I think this just goes to show how detrimental a double commit is. And to further the point that you were making even earlier on in the first series is of how important it is to put shots on target even if they don't go in, because you're forcing your opponents to make rash, quick split decisions, and the consequences could be devastating, like a 3-on-1 scenario that results in a goal as Southeastern does tie things up with 2 minutes to go.
Down low, DJ sends us fast the other way. Chronicle, wait, is Chronicle? Okay, never mind. Chronicle does get the save. The nose under there, no boost to be spoken of. Well, I got flips and I got mechanics, my friend. How about that? 105 seconds left in this game, number 4.
Yeah, that one was close. That one was down to the races. I wish we would have had the perspective of the person chasing the ball in that one, because I love to see you know, a chase for the ball go down. That's always fun to watch, as you never know if they're going to make it or not. As now, Gamersity able to get up in time to get a touch, but not the follow-up. DJ, no boost coming off the wall, as this one is going to spend a lot of time in the air, finally finds the ground, as this one gets hit out of the corner. Beast passing to Carr. Great pass, but a great read by DJ.
See if this can continue here for Southeastern. Those great passing plays to force an opportunity for their offense here. DJ flying at this one, almost connects to the Crimson Chin aerially, and I feel like that would have been just a really, really tough angle to have defended against. DJ playing a great rebound play here. Carr on over to the side. This is an even better clear and centering situation down low. DJ follows it up. It's going to be bounced way off to the left side as that offender went for a defender and for the demolition.
Yeah, I think now we're seeing a little bit more boomer ball for the most part. Again, both teams, when you're tied like this and, you're this far along in the grand finals, you really don't want to have your opponent spending too much time on your side, as Carr is going to be able to drop this one all the way from the three-point line. Not actually worth 3 points, just to reiterate, but I'm just saying that one had a good arch on it from a very far distance.
Yeah, that was that boomer ball that you were talking about, taking absolute sniper pot shots from halfway away, or half the pitch away, excuse me. Well, a little bit of opportunity, but that's just to tie this one up and push this into overtime. Southeastern, they've enjoyed a little bit of a comeback situation early, but barring a last-second goal here, that ain't going to happen again. Last bounce. Grounded ball. Tied series.
Well, there you have it. Now, you see, at this point, for me, I would say momentum no longer a factor. We are all even. The books are balanced. We are back to an even game. And speaking of which, maybe only 2 remain. Maybe. We will see. But no more advantages for anybody. Everything is fair. Everything is square. We are back down to square one Rocket League. And from here on out, at this point on, it is no longer a best of 7. This is going to be a best of 3.
Yes, it is. 2 or 3 games left right here. Just like you said, classic best of 7 is the numbers really not coming into like some huge, like we really couldn't pull some huge differential from those, like one team just simply doing it better or anything else like that. It just comes down to a 17 seconds left goal there for NAU from downtown, from a different area code down there, Captain Atsoka.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, not only was it like the distance, but it was also the speed on the ball as well, because they had 2 defenders. Southeastern had 2 defenders in the net, but they couldn't make it up to the ball in time. So not only was it just a long shot, but it was the shot placement. You always want to try and put it in one of the 90s, preferably the upper 90s. I prefer the upper 90s and the lowers. But with that being said, again, it was just a wonderful shot by Carr, and that's what they need. Granted, it was a last-second goal. They were able to get it to go, and I would like to see more pass plays, but with that being said, I think NAU has proven that each of the players on their squad are individually matched with that of Southeastern.
Gotta agree with you there. I think the scoreline says it. The previous series, it kind of seems like the loser of that series, NAU, has been able to go forth and kind of figure out exactly what they were doing. I was talking about that interim period being some of the most important times of these competitions. Perhaps that's really where they were able to go forth and figure it out. Crossbar and out. Crazy stuff.
And I can only think that this might get even crazier as we continue on in this final series of the evening. Beast with a nice flick to get over one. Didn't have any boost to follow. Carr calls off their teammate, goes to try for the touch, able to get underneath it, gets the reset, leaves it for their teammate, and that one just smacks the woodwork. It's no good.
Wow, yeah, maybe a situation there where you got to, again, kind of take possession, grab the bull by the horns, just make it your own. Not enough time for real hardcore quality communications in that one, but as it is, Beast puts it to the middle. Carr perhaps awaiting a back shot there from his teammate, a little back pass coming in for that one, but none will fall, and Southeastern in the driver's seat.
Yep, so far so good for both teams. I mean, we're still tied, still 0-0, not too many big advantages being given. A big block there, nearly waterfalling for a scoring opportunity for Southeastern, as now they vie for that midfield presence. Crimson Chin trying to find an answer here, able to get a little bit of boost as they leave that one for their teammate. And right now we're seeing a real tug of war for the field possession, mostly at that midfield line.
Ball's pretty much been living there. Might as well pitch a tent upside there until Gamersity makes it their own. This is a fantastic cutaway of possession. Beast kind of flips over there for it, but it's just going to be a nose off the wall as Carr just, a quarter second too late to that ball.
Yeah, that was just great placement there by Gamersity. Again, just waiting for that opportunity, because as you had mentioned, we have been spending a lot of time in that midfield line, so we know that's where a lot of the contention is going to be. And Gamersity clearly knew that as well. So they knew if there was going to be a play to be made, it was going to be at the midfield line, and that's where Gamersity was able to capitalize.
It's always important to kind of identify where players feel best across a pitch. I think it's really hard to do that and pin that down for Game Mercy, to be honest with you, man. If there's one player that has been all across this pitch, through and through, it has been Game Mercy all the way. They just seem like they're pretty much always there, offense, defense.
Yeah, well, now they're going to need it on the defense as Crimson Chin is able to clear that one out. Beast was on target. It was a good shot. But the recovery from Crimson Chin was just as good. Now going the other way, Beast gets a full tank of boost, able to go up high off the ceiling, has enough to follow up, is broken up by Crimson Chin. And now Southeastern going to be on the defensive side of things, and a big clear going the other way was on target, but will get blocked.
Passing play, Carr reads it perfectly, knows the book, has checked out the author, even got their library card. Knows how the story is going to end, and that's with the block. Fantastic stuff.
I may have more than one library book still out. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
one of them is from the 90s, lost somewhere. Don't want to know what the late fees are on that one. I'm pretty sure the library doesn't even exist anymore. Regardless, I got a free book.
There you go. There you go. Captain Atsuka will financially recover from this, y'all.
For sure. As we continue on, 1:20 to go. Southeastern still in the lead by 1. And at this point, do you try and play the clock, or do you continue on and try and extend the lead? An opportunity now for the Crimson Chin to find the insurance goal late here in Game 5.
You ask a question, Crimson Chin provides the answer. There is no such thing as a brake installed in my car, friends.
And just like that, Southeastern able to get an insurance goal in the late game of Game 5. Looking to put themselves on a tournament point. If they're able to hold on to this lead for another minute. Here we go. Beast looking to take control. Gets a nice flick over 1, but can't get over 2. Out towards the corner. Car looking to try and get a pass out. A DJ, though, able to take control and pinch this one all the way to the other side of the pitch. Looking for an opportunity here. Big save by Beast.
Ooh, nicely done. It's Carr this time. Okay, so 37 seconds and a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here for Northern Arizona. You were talking about Beast. I'm going to continue it. If you're Southeastern and you're on the defensive side of your pitch, you have to really just have your ears perk up, your eyes get wide as Beast takes possession and comes running down towards your side of the net. There might have been even a little bit too much attention paid attention to the Beast player within this game, and it was Carr from the other side. Like, I just think they identified that as a threat maybe a little bit too much.
Yep, just a tidbit too much. All eyes on Beast and not enough on the ball, it may seem. However, Southeastern still have the 1-goal lead with just over 10 seconds to go. NAU applying the pressure, trying to find the equalizer and force OT. Beast able to get the pass out. It is deflected and going all the way back the other way into NAU territory as the final second has expired, keeping rule 0 as that will finally hit the dirt. Southeastern now on finals point.
Match point here for Southeastern Oklahoma State University. Look at NAU. So they try to wrestle their way back. This is going to be like a mini reverse sweep, right? Little like best of 3 reverse sweep here as we take a look at the numbers. DJ, the defensive juggernaut here with all participation in these goals. 2 assists on the 2 goals made. 4 saves. Only 5 for the squad.
Yep, and once again, you know, taking a look at that shot count here, you got 8 shots coming from Southeastern, and you got 9 coming from NAU, plus 5 saves on their side as well. That right there is huge. Again, we're talking about DJ coming up with 4 saves, and again, Southeastern also getting their 5 saves in total. But right now, you know, when you're looking at these stats, once again, and this does not happen that often, but the shot count is not favoring the victor tonight. Normally that is the case, because when you get that higher shot count, you get higher possession, you get more opportunities. But that has not been the case tonight. It has been about the quality of the shot, being able to finish the play and put the ball into the back of the net. And that has been, I feel like, for a long part of the first series at least, was NAU's main problem. They have fixed that up a little bit here in the second series. But is it going to be enough? As now we are in what could be the final game of the night.
NAU, they're going to get 5 minutes like everyone else. See if they're able to come into this one, make it their own, and send this best-of-3 series to a one-and-done after the bracket reset. Yeah, I got to say, after a 4-1 game here for Southeastern, you have to say, okay, momentum their way. Any advantage numerically, like physically for NAU, is now gone. Writing on the wall would have been the Southeastern squad all day long. Well, they have wrestled that opportunity back here with a one-score advantage, or with, excuse me, a one-game advantage in the series. Now looking to put ball in net first. Wait.
And they very well might do it. That one off to the races. 2 players coming down to a photo finish, and it was Gamersity that was able to get that save and clear it away. And I mean, my goodness, if we weren't watching it, I mean, there's no way I would believe you if you said it was that close.
That eclipsed almost the entire way right there as Gamersity kind of flips away from this ball, losing possession for a second. Chronicle realizes that one, closes it up. Teammate comes in for Northern Arizona, so they're going to come in and take possession for just a couple of seconds. DJ down low. DJ spinning something beautiful right there, and Chronicle just parks the bus, flips up to it, and says, hey, I will have none of your shenanigans, sir.
Yep, now we are not playing the boomer ball anymore. Now all intention is put on target with no hesitation. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I believe we are getting ready to witness the peak of what both of these teams have to offer, and this is where you need to bring it out here in the grand finals.
Chronicle, okay. This is a great job to have sent this back the other way, but Beast is unfortunately not in a position to receive ball. Goes for the demo, but that defender is now back, and they have a third full of boost. It's perhaps a situation that I talk about sometimes, like, you know, demos are great. They're definitely great for the mental play and whatnot. Sometimes taking a demo against another player just ends up in putting your opponent in a defensive position with a third tank of boost.
Yeah, and if you're a filthy casual like me, you know, demos are just fun to watch.
True. Oh, how about that? Beast gets on the board here first.
And you know what? We take these because this is difficult right here. I mean, Chronicle coming out from the corner, gets the pass, and then Beast just dunks on DJ. Again, that was an absolute banger to start off, you know, game 6 of this best of 7 series. That one is what we would like to call a crowd pleaser.
Oh yeah, I see no one. I hear no happy voices right now, Captain Netsoka.
Gamersity now trying to find some boost. This one drops on target, but Chronicle there to get the save and clear it away. Nearly, well, actually, no, we're past halftime. We're nearly at the 2-minute mark now, as that one will be saved and cleared away again. And, you know, you had mentioned it earlier, NAU are just putting on a gold line defense in front of their net. They're not allowing anything through.
They really aren't. Carr starting this off, depending on the rebound, yeah, so it's a great job reading that one out. I believe that was DJ on the defensive save right there and getting this one way on out there, past to Gamersity until Beast has something to say.
And being able to clear that one out, Beast was able to get the demo on a DJ. As now DJ spawns back in, but, you know, just not able to get really much of anything going. NAU Varsity, they're putting the pedal to the metal, as it looks like they are just going all gas and no brakes here. They are bringing the speed here to Game 6.
Bring the speed, bring the pain. NAU, they're playing like they need it, and there's a reason for that, Captain. Picking up big boost along the way. Crimson Shin fortunately gives up the back, and it's a double demo type situation for Carr and for Beast, with finding one. Chronicle looking dangerous. Beast comes in for another one. Okay, that is rather dangerous. This flirts with the outside of the net, but doesn't quite go in.
No, but I do like the attitude. Again, they're playing very quickly onto the ball, and it's kind of mixing up Southeastern because they're just trying to keep up with the pace of play. And, you know, they're so busy trying to play catch-up, trying to get the possession game back, that they can't even really formulate an offense. So far, we have rarely got to see too many team plays coming out from Southeastern. It's been a lot of individual efforts, and I think that has just been NAU just getting up and in their face and causing so much disruption.
Censoring play there for Gamersity. Now 20 seconds Left to go. Oh, Crimson Chin comes up for it. An open net the other way. And Boost is going to secure this game number 6 for NAU varsity. Yes, it's possible. No, it is very, very unlikely, folks.
Once again, we missed it. It happened off screen, but I'm pretty sure Beast came through to hit the third player back so that way they couldn't take that shot, because that was the play. That was the equalizer. Beast, once again, being a burden, able to knock out their competition and prevent them from taking the shot. And it's that physical play, that absolute brawler type of play style from Beast that is going to secure them the win here in Game 6 and give us a grand finals Game 7.
Dude, shutouts galore here abound in this series. We saw a couple of shutouts against Northwood Blue in the previous series, but there has been 1, 2, 3 shutouts in Southeastern Oklahoma State. There has been 1, 2, 3 shutouts of Northern Arizona University. You try and draw a difference between these two teams, it is a rather slim margin, Captain Atsoka.
And you know what? Once again, we're looking at these stats here, and you see 5 saves from Chronicle MVP, 2 goals from Beast, shooting at nearly 100%, but getting 100% goal participation. But I can guarantee you, if the demo and bump stat was on the board, it would be through the roof for Beast. Chronicle MVP, well deserved, got the 5 saves. The savior, again, parking the bus in front of the net. Literally, you know, saving the game for NAU more often than not. However, Beast's brawling demo game is what won them the game, because defense is great. We love defense, but saves don't score goals. Beast not only scored the goals, but literally paved the way with the scrap heap of their enemies. So, again, if they don't find a way to either avoid or stop Beast, NAU very well can steal this game back away from Southeastern.
Entirely fair. It was a first series that seemed a little bit one-sided. The first half of this series certainly seemed one-sided. Well, it's been NAU coming up strong in games 3, 4, and then 6 to bring this one back from the brink. That's going to be a fantastic early score here from Chronicle. Chronicle having some fantastic defensive efforts in the second half of the last game, and now with an offensive effort. Gamersity gets nothing going on that one after a bump from the teammate, or from the opponent, excuse me.
Yeah, not only that, but if you look down low, you would see that Beast went and bumped the goalie as well there in order to clear that one up. This time, nobody home. Crimson Chin is coming back for Southeastern to try and save the day.
Pretty crazy stuff right here. This goes real low, real slow into a corner. And then we have 18 seconds into this one. I figured the first score would have stood for a little while, Captain.
No, not in Game 7. Not here. Not on Champions Field. It don't. As we continue to fight on, both teams have earned their right, have earned their spot to be here tonight, going to the absolute ringer until we possibly couldn't go any longer. A bracket reset Game 7. This is as far as we could possibly go, and that is what it will take to determine which of these teams is going to be our grand champion here tonight.
That was almost Northern Arizona making an answer for Captain in the middle of the question. 60 seconds into this one, a couple of scores on the boards, but no advantage here. Not in game score, nothing else. Yeah, I mean, we had a 7-game series in the very first. That was Northwood's Blue taking it down 4-3 fashion. We had a pretty quick first bracket. Our first series, excuse me, and then pre-bracket reset. Post, there's no real advantage here from either side. Let's go ahead and get tap into our wonderful producer Chippy and make sure that how the punch of the ticket to the land finals goes with this.
And while Chippy gets back with us on that information, Southeastern continuing to apply the pressure here as Carr is able to clear this one out. No boost left in the tank. And now, Gamersity coming from up on high, not going to be able to get the touch here. Beast going to send this one forward once again on the hunt, looking for the bump, but it kind of just hops right on over their opponent.
Gotcha. It's D1 for land, so this is, as these are D2 schools, not going to be able to see that, unfortunately. D2 schools being involved in future lands here, but it's Southeastern as I'm looking away. That gets one, and that is Crimson Chin with a fantastic dish from DJ. Spinning plates, making goals.
Yep, there you have it, and being able to get that in a pretty longer time period than the first two. I mean, the first two goals were back to back. This one took a little bit more time. As we continue on, we are past 2 minutes in. We are continuing on. The fight continues on. This time, NAU Varsity are playing from behind. As Gamer City did have a good plan, but didn't have the resources to execute. But here comes Crimson Chin yet again.
There's the Chin, and there's their third in less than a half of Rocket League. 6 shots attempted, if I read that right. 3 goals made inside for the absolute offensive juggernaut of Southeastern.
Oh my goodness. Chronicle now trying to find an answer. I mean, now here we are again. It has been a rarity throughout this series where we have seen like a, well, actually, no, now I'm lying. I was going to say it's like 2 goal spreads, but we've seen like 5 goal spreads.
Yes.
You know, we've seen them now. They're not so much a rarity anymore, but this late in the series, this 2 goals feels massive, as now it could just be 1, but DJ comes in clutch for Southeastern.
They're getting absolutely robbed with no defense or no savior medal given from that one. No save points awarded. But you're right, taking it to the stats for just a second. As this one hits top bar, bounces down. Okay, so danger abated for just a couple of seconds. Taken to the stats. Captain Atsoka, we have seen 0 overtime games in this second series between NAU Varsity and Southeastern. In neither of the, in this matchup between these two, in both of these series, 0 overtime situations. We've seen plenty of 1-score differences. We've seen plenty of 2-score differences, and we've seen 1 5-score differences. Everything else outside of that 5-score differential, that outlier right there, right, of the data, everything else has been relatively close.
Oh, NAU Varsity have got to find an answer, and they've got to find it quick. Just over 60 seconds to go here in the very last game of the night. And right now, Southeastern are in control. They're in control of the pace, they're in control of the game, and currently in control of the ball with a 2-goal lead. And finally, a little breathing room for NAU.
Yeah, they need to get one in here to really feel comfortable. They're about how much time they have left to make plays here. And of course, I mean, it's easy to plan for a single goal. Just take it as you go. That's brutal for Crimson Chin. The Texas hat trick on top of the cap yet again. 9 shots attempted, Captain Atsoka. 9. I don't count that high, okay? 4 of them making it in for the Texas hat trick.
And in that pinch, I mean, my goodness, there's no saving that. And it's kind of a feels bad for NAU Varsity, because when you have an absolute laser going in towards your net, it's like impossible to react in time in order to save that. And I think that may have been the dagger here in this game, but hold the phone. Chronicle has not given up yet.
Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Here's the stat for you, folks. There are 2 members across 6 goals that have been scored in this game. Everybody else is held scoreless. That is Chronicle, and that is Crimson Chin. It is their offensive world that we are living in.
Well, and so, I mean, if things keep going the way they are, then Crimson Chin is going to be the victor in this bout. However, still 20 seconds remaining. I mean, we're within the time theory. You get 10 seconds per goal. So if NAU is going to try and equalize, they have literally got to score in this next possession.
Yeah, and really it's going to have to happen right here to even a 1-score kickoff play to try and keep it aloft, but hope is slowly dying, dwindling, and it is now here by snuffed. A shot back to the other way, and there is not enough time to score. Look at your victors, Southeastern Oklahoma State. 4-2 victory in the last game of this 7-game series, and they have gone the distance. It was not a sprint, it was a marathon, and Southeastern comes out on the other side winded, tired, and victorious, Captain Atsoka.
16 shots coming from Southeastern that game. 16. That is absolutely insane. 9 of which coming from the Crimson Chin. Oh my goodness, what a night. What a series. What a game. I mean, again, both of these grand final series coming down to a game 7. Granted, the first one was done and dusted in the first series. This one, bracket reset all the way to game 7. Southeastern completes with a lower bracket run all the way to take grands. That right there is what the Rocket League stories are made of. That is what the NECC is made of.
Yes, it is. This is where Scholastic competition goes to spread its wings and soar, Captain Soko. Absolutely love it. Big shout out to our victors here, Southeastern Oklahoma State. If we're talking MVP, accolades or whatever, can you really have that conversation without Crimson Chin? Yes, there's like a tiny bit of recency bias here with the last game, 9 shots attempted, 4 goals made in. That wasn't the only time that Crimson Chin put up these kinds of numbers, right? There was defensive blocks made by this player, and you can see the numbers that tell a story here offensively what Crimson Chin was able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, my goodness, we have just been given an absolute treat tonight because, coming into this, I was not thinking we were going to get 2 back-to-back game 7s because it is very rare. And this has been a long season, okay? Every season, a long season. We've been here for a long time. We've seen a lot of games. It's not often that a series goes the full distance. And to have 2 of them back-to-back in the grand finals, that right there is a treat. But I think we got a couple of messages before we let the folks at home go. Tugboat.
Absolutely. I want to give a shout out here to G Fuel and to Winslow's Farms. Ba-bang, as if on cue. Big shout out to G Fuel. Use code NECC20 to get a certain percentage off. I'll let you guess how much. Big shout out to Winslow's Farms as well. You saw some of their really fun marketing that they had playing in the breaks. Winslow's Farms, game your fuel. Fuel your game with Winslow's Farms. Snack sticks. No mess. No muss, no fuss, no distractions.
Yo, we won, baby. Let's go. First place, Division II champions, Southeastern Rocket League team. Thank you all for joining us. We are super pumped, super excited, about to end the stream. We'll probably be playing tomorrow night Overwatch. Go follow our Instagram. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. We love it when you do that to our YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Southeastern Esports. Man, we won Division III last semester. We got promoted into Division II this semester. Won it. Here we come, Division I, hopefully in the fall. Thank you all for following us. Continue to be with us as we go through this extremely exciting career of these 3 Rocket League players. Thank you so much for being here. Join us again as we stream. Go follow again the Instagram. It's where we keep all of our posts. We will be playing a national soon, so be paying attention to that. We won't have any games next week, but we'll be back the week after that, I think, with nationals. But again, go follow our Instagram. That's the best place to stay up to date with Southeastern's esports program. Thank you all so much.